والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق وأعز المرسلين سيدنا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين سيما قائمهم صاحب العصر والزمان أرواحنا لتراب مقدمه الفداء واللعن الدائم على أعدائهم إلى قيام يوم الدين. برادران و خواهران عزیز، سلام علیکم و رحمت الله و برکاته. انشاءالله اعمال همگی قبول باشه در این شب مبارک و در این ماه مبارک. این شب عظیمی است که شب شهادت امیرالمؤمنین علی علیه السلام هم هست. همونطور که در شب اول توصیه کردیم که از هر لحظه در این شب‌های مبارک بیشترین بهره رو ببریم و خیلی دقت کنیم روی اعمالمون، گفتارمون، هر حرکتی که داریم انجام میدیم تو این شب‌ها، چون که لیلة القدر خیر من الف شهر، هر لحظه هزار و هزار برابر مضاعف میشه، هر اجری هزار و هزار برابر مضاعف میشه. و همونطور که بنا بود انشاءالله صحبتمون به انگلیسی باشه، نه فقط برای جوانهای ما، حتما فایده انشاءالله برای همه باشه. به برکت یک صلوات دیگر بر محمد و آل محمد. So brothers and sisters, just want to tackle a topic today, inshallah, that is immediately related to this holy night. I just need you to bear with me with a small introduction first. I'm going to go through the history of it, just to build up the context, and then to see how it is immediately related to our lives today. So if I would ask you a question of when do you think the Islamic history started? When do you think that Islam started? Many people would say, well, it should start by the birth of the Prophet, because this is what we know from other religions, like Christianity, for example, at Christmas. So religion started when the Prophet of that religion is born. Some might say that Islam started when the revelation happened, when God talked to his Prophet and appointed him as a messenger through Angel Gabriel. Some other people would say that, well, Islam started when they won the first fight, the first war in Islam. This is when Islam started. But actually, Islam didn't start at any of these occasions. Islam started in history. As you all know, we have the Hijri calendar. It started at the Hijrah, which is the migration. So our religion started on the migration day, which is a movement. Why would a religion start with a movement? That's kind of surprising. And it should have a reason. Our religion started by a movement. So to explain this, we need to go walk into the story of what happened so we can analyze what really happened and why God decided for Islam to start at the migration of the Prophet. So in the year of the elephant, the Prophet was born. I'm just going to go quickly through the history. Bear with me and save the checkpoints so you can know how we can do the analogy with today in our daily life. So the Prophet was born, still no Islam, no religion, no message. And he lived in Mecca for 40 years. Let's recite a salawat. Allah salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So the Prophet lived in Mecca for 40 years. Just a normal person. He's not a prophet yet. Living with people, everyday life. Having a daily job. Having relationships and communication with people. But he was very well known to be very honest and very loyal and very trustworthy. a very nice and good person. For 40 years, nothing has been said about Islam or about religion or any message. And he's not a prophet yet. And Islam did not start yet. 40 years is not small. It's a long period. At the age of 40, he's going to get the first revelation. And Gabriel will tell him that God has appointed you as his messenger for his last religion. Now you become a prophet. But still, Islam did not start yet, even though the prophet is appointed. For 3 years, the next 3 years, the prophet was not allowed to tell his message publicly to people. He kept it in secret, in small circles. So Ali was the first believer. Khadija was the first believer. Sumayya was the first believer. A few companions of the prophet believed in him and started praising Islam and praying with him. But it was in secret, not publicly. So that was for 3 years. After that, the message came that now you have to unveil the secret and tell out the religion to everyone. Now you have to announce publicly that you are coming to preach Islam and tell everyone. So at the age of 43. And that lasted for 10 years. For 10 years in Mecca, the same city, the Prophet was preaching Islam and telling people about Islam and spreading the message. But it was very challenging and it was not easy at all because everyone was against the message. There's an influence of this person and everyone is against. And here's the point. The problem started. Sumayya was killed. Bilal was tortured. And then a few years later, Abu Talib and Khadija passed away. No business can be done with the Prophet and his companions. Families are boycotted. So it's very challenging to stay in the city and to spread the message. And that was a problem in Mecca. And the Prophet has to think about a solution because yes, faith is there. Islam is born, but it's not expanding. He's not fulfilling the message. He's not fulfilling the mission. It's not working in Mecca. He cannot stay in Mecca. So there's a small lesson here. When you are in a place or an environment where there's complications, the circumstances are not helping you, you can't stay because it's not going to work. So he started planning to move. Quraysh was also behind him, pushing him to leave because they also needed to kill him. So he started planning. It's not chaotic. It was not impulsive. A plan. We need to have a plan to move, to migrate, so we can keep Islam safe and spread the message. So we started planning. And at the same time, Quraysh was also planning that we need to get rid of this person because he's influential. People are listening to him. We need to kill him. And that night came. You all know what happened that night. The Prophet came to Ali and said, they decided to kill me tonight. And I'm leaving. And they also made a plan that not one person is going to kill him. They're going to choose a person from every tribe. It's going to be a group of men who are going to go and attack the house of the Prophet and kill him. So his blood is going to be spread on all the clans, not only one clan. So no one can revenge from him. So but the Prophet told Ali that this is going to happen. Imam Ali only asked one question. Prophet, are you going to be safe? Is Islam going to be safe? The Prophet said, yes. So Ali said, okay, I'm going to sleep at your place. I'm going to stay at the house and let them do what they want to do. So that night, the Prophet leaves Mecca. Imam Ali is going to go to his house, sleep in his bed, knowing that the monstrous people are going to come and attack the house at night. But still, he was certain and courageous enough to stay at the house, defending Islam. And then the Prophet leaves. So as I said, there was a plan. The Prophet did not leave immediately to Medina. He left to a cave on the road with one of his companions. Ghar Hira. This was the transition stage. The enemies were following them that night. So the companion of the Prophet said, if they look in between their legs, they're going to find us and they're going to kill us. The Prophet told him, don't worry, God is with us. Don't be afraid, it's okay. That night went. After 2 nights, they continued their path and they arrived to Medina. People were waiting for them, waiting for the Prophet. What was the first thing that our Prophet did? Building a mosque. Establishing a mosque. It's not building a palace or building an army. He built a mosque because the mosque is the foundation of faith. The mosque, like here, is the place where you build human beings. We're not just building a building or building the appearance or building an army because we need strength and power. We need to build people from the inside. This is why he started by building a mosque. لَمَسْجِدٌ أُسِّسَ عَلَى التَّقْوَى مِنْ أَوَّلِ يَوْمٍ. From day one. And he started working with people, with individuals. The second thing he did the brotherhood between the Muhajirin and the Ansar. Those who came from Mecca, having nothing with them, left their houses, their cities, their belongings, empty hands, with one of the families in Medina. So every family had to go to be hosted by another family in Medina. And this is how he made brotherhood between these two families. So this is what happened after the migration to Medina. Because as I said, Islam was surviving in Mecca, but it was not expanding. And that's a problem. So we needed to change the place. So after the Prophet arrived to Medina and established the mosque and the brotherhood, this is when Islam started. It's by this migration, by this movement. We start our calendar in Islam, the Hijri calendar, by this date. When the Prophet moved, migrated, this is when Islam started. It's not when they won the first war. It's not when the revelation happened. Not when the Prophet was born. It's when they migrated. So this is the importance of movement and migration. Okay. So Sheikh, you're talking about migration now. What does this all have to do with our lives? We're not migrating cities. We're not moving from Hamilton. We're not moving from Canada. What all this has to do with us? This is the main question. Because some of you might say, my life is not collapsing. I'm having a normal life. Maybe I have a daily job or I'm going to school every day. Everything's fine. And I'm praying and I'm Muslim and everything's fine. So why are you talking about migration and change and movement? Nothing's collapsing in my life. Everything's fine. But sometimes stagnation is comfortable. Staying the same is comfortable. And who knows, maybe you're just surviving your faith, but you're not expanding your faith. You're not growing. You're not working on your self-development. This is why you're feeling comfortable in staying the same. So you might need a movement and migration. This is something that we need to think about. Am I still in my comfort zone? If a student, for example, yes, I'm passing all the courses, it's easy. But have you ever thought about taking a challenging course that you were always afraid of? This is expansion. This is growth. Or someone is employed, for example, or working. Yes, my work is fine, my income is fine, everything's fine, nothing's collapsing. Yes, but are you growing in your work? After 1, 2, 5, 10 years, are you growing? Or are you still just doing the same thing? This is the question. Are you just surviving or are you expanding? Because Islam is not fixed. It's changing and expanding. Faith is the same. My personality is the same. I'm not going to have the same personality from childhood until I die. I have to grow. I have to expand. So this is the question I need to ask myself. Maybe I'm at the same place from years. And then It's not easy to change. It's not easy to talk about change because there's going to be an insecurity in it. If you want to change places, and here, by the way, we're not talking about changing the city or changing Hamilton or changing the family, but maybe it's changing something inside of you, a habit, or a group of friends that you're used to hang out with, but they're not the best group that you need to hang out with. Or maybe a private sin that you need to leave. This is a migration, and it's not comfortable because you're used to do that thing. And when you want to go into transition, it's not going to be comfortable at all because it's insecure and it's uncertain. You don't know where you are going. So it is challenging to think about change. But we need to think about it because maybe I'm just surviving my faith. And when I just survive my faith and it's the same, it becomes just rituals. It's not faith anymore. It's just things that I repeat because I'm used to. Because this is how I learned it from my parents. And I just repeat it and I do it. This is why I come to the mosque. This is why I go to the Merkaz. This is why I pray. I pray every day, but is my prayer getting deeper? This is the main question. Yes, you pray, but is your praying different from one day to another? Or are you just surviving? So, as I said, let's make it honest. What is your Mecca? Maybe your city where you are stagnant and surviving is not a geographical city or a country. Maybe it's a digital city, a digital world inside of you, a city that is making you harm. Your profile on social media, for example, or the video game that you're attached to, or Instagram that you always check. This is a world in itself, the digital world of itself, because this world is shaping your personality. And this is something that you're thinking about all the time. You cannot live without your phone for 2 hours. So your city, you are still the same, is your digital city. It's your phone. The phone is a big part of our lives today. We're spending 7, 8, 9, 10 hours on our phones every single day. You check the world on your phone. You check your friends on the phone. Social media is on the phone. Everything's on the phone. So everything you do is a part of your personality. It's on your phone. So how many harmful things did you download on your phone this week without knowing it? And it's the month of Ramadan. Is your phone fasting? Did you think that only fasting is just fasting from eating and drinking? Is your phone fasting? Because everything you hear is through your phone. Everything you watch is through your phone. Every small sin that you may do, but without realizing, maybe it's through your phone. So fasting is not only fasting of your tongue and your stomach, it's also fasting for everything you're doing, including your phone. So is your phone fasting in Ramadan? If it's not fasting, so yes, you're thirsty and hungry, but you're not fasting. You're just getting thirsty and hungry. Maybe you're not getting the reward of fasting, the real fasting. Abstaining from doing sins and small mistakes and wasting time, mostly over the phone. So we're not talking about changing cities and moving from cities and migrating from cities, from Hamilton or from Canada or from the West. No, it's inside of you, your digital world, where you are comfortable. You cannot change it. You cannot transition from that world because you're used to it. And you're enjoying it. It's your pleasure. Maybe it's your gaming device. We need to think about these things. And especially this night, because this is the night of transformation. This is the night of migration. For the whole next year, your destiny is going to be written this night. So where are you surviving? Where is your faith still stagnant? You're just repeating things. You're just repeating the prayer every day. You're just reading the Quran, but you don't understand anything of what you're reading. You're just coming to the mosque because everyone's coming to the mosque, and I don't want to be the only intruder. Is that a faith? Is that a real faith? Or is it just a ritual that you are repeating? This is the time now in this holy month and this holy night and the night that is coming to think about these things. What are the things that I need to change about myself? What is my Mecca? What is my cave that I need to go to that is unsecure? But still I'm certain about this change. And what is your Medina that you want to go to? The things that you are longing for and looking for, change in yourself and grow to. until next year. This is why we are talking about the migration, and this is not a simple reason why our Islam starts with the migration. So maybe your Islam, your true Islam, is going to start when you move out of your traditional classical Islam that we have now. Did you step into that move or not yet? Did you think about this migration or not yet? Maybe your true Islam did not start yet. Yes, you are Muslim. Yes, you pray. Yes, you read Quran. You read Dua. You come to the mosque. But maybe this is only in the appearance, an Islam of appearance. It's not a deep Islam. So it's really crucial to think about these questions, especially this night. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, he said, I am migrating to my Lord. Inni muhajirun ila Rabbi. I'm leaving all this world and all these people worshipping idols and everything in this life that is repetitive, and I'm migrating to my Lord. As Ali Amir al-Mu'mineen did the same. His only aspiration in life was to achieve God, to achieve his Lord. And by the way, there was something very amazing about the commander of the faithful. He was the strongest, the most courageous. He won all the wars. He's infallible. He's perfect. But he never claimed victory in his life, not only once. Never claimed victory. But one single time, at the last moment, when he was struck by the sword on his head, in his mihrab, praying Salat al-Subuh, but then he said, Fuztu wa Rabbil Kaaba. By the God of the Kaaba, now I am victorious. Because at that moment, he knew that he achieved his goal of being a martyr and meeting his God, accomplishing his mission. So this is a lesson to us. Perseverance. You're not strong when you claim victory every single day over your friends or in a video game or over your parents or in society or at school. That's not a victory. That's a temporary one. The real victory, the greatest victory, is the last one. When you achieve your priority number one goal in life, what is it? And as we said last time, this night is for the night of aspiration. You have to decide your goal in these nights and work on it until next Ramadan, until next year, until next Laylat al-Qadr, because your destiny is going to be written today. And you need to ask God for it. This is why we're here, waking up until morning, asking Allah for these du'as. This is why we're gathering here for Laylat al-Qadr. This is why we should think about in Laylat al-Qadr. One of the best things that we can do in Laylat al-Qadr is just reflection, thinking. You can stay quiet in a corner, not doing anything, not praying, not reading Quran, not reading dua, just reflecting, thinking. أفضل الأعمال. Because thinking for 1 hour is best than worshiping God for 72 hours or maybe more. Because thinking is going to change you before acting. Don't underestimate thinking. So to conclude, I don't want to take more of your time in this holy night. As I said, Islam started its calendar with hijrah. Not because travel is sacred, but because remaining the same is not neutral. So ask yourself, where am I remaining the same? In what aspect of my life I'm not changing? I'm not growing. That's stagnant, and that's not good. And the most dangerous part is when it's your faith. Your faith is the same, and it's not growing. So, as I said, if your faith stays the same, it becomes a ritual. You're just repeating things without knowing what you're doing. Repeating your prayer, repeating reading the Quran, repeating coming to the mosque. It's a ritual, something that you repeat, formal, but it's not deep. So think about it, seriously. Either you stop it or you do it the right way. It doesn't make any sense. You're wasting your time. That's very important. And this night is the golden opportunity to think about these things. And I just want to finish here with some of the du'as, and I'm going to do it in Farsi. And I'm going to do it slowly, so inshallah everyone can understand. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. خدایا امشب از تو می‌خواهیم که به ما توفیق بده آنچه که شنیدیم و آموختیم به کار ببریم. دلهای ما رو بیدار کن تا بتونیم در این ماه مبارک هجرتی به سوی تو انجام بدیم. از گناه به سوی طاعت انجام بدیم. خدایا اگر در این راه کوتاهی کردیم، اگر در این راه لغزشی داشتیم، ما رو ببخش. گناهان ما رو بیامرز و عاقبت ما رو ختم به خیر قرار بده. پروردگارا همه بیماران رو شفا عنایت بفرما. پروردگارا در گذشتگان ما رو غریق رحمت خود قرار بده و بر همه کسانی که در برگزاری این مجلس سهمی داشتند از بانیان و خادمان تا همه شرکت کنندگان لطف و برکت خودت را نازل بفرما. خدایا به حق محمد و آل محمد فرج مولایمان حضرت ولی عصر عجل الله تعالی فرجه را نزدیک بفرما و برای شادی روح همه درگذشتگان مخصوصا اموات این جمع الفاتحة مع الصلوات.